Good morning. So today we have been yesterday's class we were discussing about module 1. So we have seen some of the things like course objectives and course outcomes and all those things. And you are familiar with all this. What are the outcomes and what are the objectives? Correct? Yes. So once we have completed that, we have started with module 1, wherein we were studying about basics of networking and emergence of IoT. So here in the introduction section, we have seen that what do you mean by an IoT, what we are going to see how the connectivity between the devices takes place, and we have also discussed on what are the applications which are there with respect to IoT. So all those things we have discussed in the last class. We have seen that it can be used in military applications and for the data transfer, and you can say that it is first of all nowadays the most important thing is that how you transfer the data from one end to another and how you have the connectivity between the devices. So IoT plays a major role in doing that. And today's world, you can say that data and networking plays a major role in entire process of communication. Okay? So it's very important for us. So these things we have seen. We have seen that this IoT can be used in agriculture field. It can be used in military applications. It can be used in industrial applications, home automation, and many things can be part of IoT. Wherein you are going to connect the devices with the help of internet or intranet, and you are going to establish the network. So here you can see a figure where the military operations are being controlled with the help of IoT. Okay. So next you can see here which we have studied in the last class. That is with respect to networking. Networking means what? What is networking? You are having host. You have devices, many devices. So it has to be connected to each other. So we have different topologies and all those things we will be discussing further. So what we have here, you have one device connected to another device. So for that, what is required? So if you wanted to connect yourself with your friend, so what you need some internet or some connectivity between your friends, isn't it? So you have to put the devices together. Now, can you imagine that you have already told about Alexa? Can you just imagine that Alexa working without an internet connection? So that is what you need. If you want to manage anything, you want to see what is happening. You have a webcam in your room, and you want to see what it is going on. Okay, you can check it in the mobile phone. So how it is possible? Because of the connectivity between the devices. So it's very important to establish a connectivity between the devices, and we have the network facility for that. So that is why we need to know what is networking. So what we will be studying here, we will be studying the interconnection of devices. So that is called as network, and we have some of the internet protocol and IP address and media control and MAC address. So these are some of the things which are basically associated with networking. So we'll be studying all these things in much detail in the upcoming classes. Okay. So further, we have seen that this multipath of there is some of the time what we'll be doing, we'll be having a single path of communication. Like you just press the remote. So when you want to switch on the TV, what you will take the remote and you will just give the key corresponding key, it will change. So it is a single. Whether TV is giving any signal back to you? No. But if you are having any your mobile phone and you are saying that you are connected to another mobile phone, for example, so you are sending a message. So sometimes you get the acknowledgement back that yeah, this person has received. Yes or no? So those things is having a dual direction of data transmission. Okay. So we can also see in this manner. See that if I keep some five friends together here and I say that you are connected to this person. So if for example A is connected to C, okay, and A is connected to B, but suddenly the A and C will quarrel with each other and they break up with each other. But if the A is having connection with B and B is having connection with C, so what will happen? You can establish a connectivity later also. So that is what the difference between these things we'll be discussing in detail. So it's very much interesting to understand all these things. So basically data transmission takes place in which all domain. What you do, you send text message. Then if you are very much interested, you send videos. If you are also sometimes you send images. So what basically it is all about, it's a transmission of data in the form of text, image or video. Any other mode of transmission you do? Voice, isn't it? So nowadays it's quite common. Nowadays people are very lazy that they don't want to type, they just press and then send the voice message. So there are different ways of communication between the devices. So these things were discussed in the last class. So let us see what is we are going to see in the next upcoming. So now we are going to see the next topic in the first module. That's the reason I say you that you can just keep your syllabus intact with you, just for you to get a brief understanding of all these things. See, we are in the basics of networking, module 1. Introduction we have completed. We are going to network types. Okay. So you need to know that what we are studying. So that's the thing. Now we are going to see the network types. So what are the different types of network? So computer networks can be classified according to three various types, like type of connection. Type of connection means how you are establishing a connectivity between one device to another, whether it is one-to-one connection or one-to-many. So all those things are very important. Then we have the next one is physical topology. We will be studying all the three in much detail. What we will be studying, what is device, star, mesh, and all those things. You heard about all these things? Yeah, very good. So no need to study again. Okay. Then it is reach of network. How the network connectivity can be established and how you can look into those things. So these are the three types of various parameters which are classified based on the network type. So first one is, this is very important, that is type of connection and physical topology and reach of network. Or you can call it as network visibility. So classifications is helped in the requirement of network. Startup can provide insights and appropriate selection of networks as according to the requirement. Now you are now you are going to design. Okay, you are all engineers in believe so, right? So you need to design a setup. So what you need to know which connectivity. For example, whether you see there is a conductor. I told you remote. You can control the TV. And that same technology we use for any other purpose? No. So AC, all those things, same process. I'm saying that can you sit here with the remote and control your TV in home? Not possible. So based on your application, you need to select which you need to select that which topology you need to go for, which is the network reachability you need to select, and which type of connection you need to establish. So based on your design, you need to make sure that which is the setup you have to establish and how you have to go ahead with that. So it is very important to choose. See, there will be hundreds of technologies, but in that, which one is appropriate for your design is very important. For example, now you have when you completed your 12th standard, you had hundreds of choice, but in that you have selected only engineering. So that is how you have to look into those things. Okay. So these are very important to understand. There are three network types: type of connection, physical topology, and reach of the network. So these are very important for us to understand. Okay. So you can just note those three things. We will be studying all the three in much detail, one by one. So you can make a lot of network types, type of connection, physical topology, reach of the network or network reachability also you can call. So this is the second topic of the first module. All of them can be easily nodes so that the motive is that we can finish it fast. That is not the thing. You write it once, it remains in your mind at what you have written. Just see as a movie keeps moving. So don't want that. Let's put something on the paper as well. It's a good practice. So this is clear. So what is the first one? Types of connection. So let us see what are the different types of connection. So connection types, the first one is connection types or types of connection, both are same. So you can just write on first one, connection type. So what are the different types of connection or the connection types? It can be classified as two types. What are those two types? Point to point and point to multi-point. So what is meant by point to point and point to multi-point? Yeah, you have one close friend, point to point. You have 10 close friends, point to multi-point. Very easy to remember. Okay. So what is that? You can see that it is host A and host B. So this device is connected to the other device with one mode of connection. So like I have told you, like you switch on your TV or you are only having one mode of connection. Okay. Now you have you send one information from this computer to another computer. You are just connected to one device to another. So you can say that it is point to point communication, and you can see here the figure is very important. Whenever you get an answer, you make sure that if any figure is associated with it, you put the paper first, please write some content, then put the figure, then again write the content. Figure is very important in any of that. So when somebody see, they will not see it directly, they will see the face, right? Similarly, when somebody sees the answer, they don't see the entire answer, they see the figure. So what will be when you see the figure? You will understand that the student knows the concept. Okay. So if you know to draw the figure, you will definitely know to write it. So it's very important to keep track of all the figures, whatever you understand, not only in this subject, any subject. So what is the first two things you can see? One is point to point and point to multi-point. So first one is point to point. Point to point means what? I am communicating now to you. I am communicating to point or point to multi-point? Point to multi-point. So if I am communicating to specifically one student, then it is point to point. So you can say that point to point connections are used to establish a direct connectivity between two hosts. That is, here you can see A and B. So you are directly connecting to each other. So that is point to point connection. The remote control for the TV is example for point to point connection. Then you can also say that the networks were designed to work over duplex links and synchronous well on the systems, and point to point connections can be used in some of the optical networks. You have heard about optical networks? See, you have seen some cables, yeah, optical fiber cable. So you might have seen the cables moving on the roads, right? That and all those, from where that cables are connected. See, you can see one tower is there, then another tower is there. You call it as base station, shipping station. So many things are there. Okay, that comes in electronics in a very huge manner. So you can say that if I am here and I am connected through the optical cable to somebody else. So those kind of things where you have direct connectivity between one to another. You can see that nowadays optical cables, most of the cases when you are taking a internet connection to your home, which cable they are using? So you can establish a optical network. So these are all some of the purpose where you can use a point-to-point mode of communication. So what is the next one is point to multi-point. So you can just note down the important points. Make sure that one figure is there for that. If you are not drawing the PC and all, I am okay with it. You just draw a box, you write host A, another box, host B. Easy to draw one box down like this. Laptop is easy. So this is what you can understand about the connection types. Now next we are going to see about point to multi-point. The subject is very easy. I think and the only thing you need to read one. But this is what will happen if it is very easy. Don't leave it. If you leave it also, it will not clear. You need to study 1 or 2 times. You need to so point to point connection, whatever points you feel important, you can note down. Point to point connection. See, point to point connection is one host to another host. If you put 2, 3 hosts, then it is a point to multi-point. So is that clear? Is that correct? We'll go further. So the next one is point to multi-point. So what do you mean by point to multi-point? See here, point to point you have seen one host connected to another host. You are not supposed to connect in point to point one host to many hosts. That is not point to point, that will be point to multi-point. Let us see that how it is point to multi-point. Is completed. Usually, if you study the slides itself, it is more than sufficient. I will not give unnecessary points. This is important in the Facebook. I will definitely there in the same. So let us go further. So point to multi-point. So point to multi-point, what you can see? You can see that the host A is connected with more than one host. That is point to multi-point. You are having host A connected to B, C, and D. So this is called as point to multi-point thing. So in point to multi-point, more than 2 hosts in the same share the same link. So you can see that more than one host. In the previous figure, you are connecting only one host. Here you can see more than one host means more than 2 hosts share the same link. So you can see that. You can see A connected to B, connected to C, and connected to D. So this type of configuration is similar to one-to-many connection type, and point-to-point multi-point connections are most popularly used in which one? Wireless networks and IP telephony, and the channel is shared between the various hosts. You can see the channel. It is shared between the various hosts, like host A, B, C, and D. The channel is being shared with the host A. So, what is one more thing? The common scheme used for this, we know that is called as frequency division multiple access. So, it is a technology used for the transmission, which you will be having this in the between the devices from one device to another. You call it as frequency division multiple access, and you can also have time division multiple access. Means you divide the frequency. So what you are going to do here in the frequency division multiple access, you will have certain frequencies. You split the frequency, and each slot you will be using as a different channel. In the time division multiple access, you will be dividing the time slots, and you will be using those slots for different transmission of information. So it can be used as a channel in order to connect one host to many hosts. Okay. And this approach is various schemes and protocols are used in the transmission of signal from one end to another. This process is called as point to multi-point network, or you call it as channel sharing in point to multi-point. You are sharing the channel. You have certain bandwidth and you have certain mode of operation. So you are going to share that according to your requirement to make sure that. So now you see I am communicating from one end to another to you, right? So whether I am using different classrooms for every student? No. So this is a single channel. So what I am doing, I am communicating the process, and it is being either split into that, and you are going to get it. So you are using the technology frequency division multiple access or time division multiple access in order to in the process of sharing of channel from one node to another node. You can see it as host or node. It's one and the same. It's a device, one device to another device. So if you are establishing connectivity between one device to many devices, you call the process as point to multi-point. So all of you take the syllabus and just clean it out to your notebook, so that you will be always aware of what is. We are in the second topic, network types. So how it is network types classified into three. The first one is types of connection. That is split into two. That is point to point and point to multi-point. Sequence same See, so many protocols. Protocol means set of designs or set of rules which is used in order to, like for example, you are having certain rules for being a student in this college. No? Similarly, like you follow certain rules in your home. So, like that, here also certain rules and regulations, some algorithms and all which is there, which takes care of the entire process of communication between the devices. So here we have shown like two things, point to point and point to multi-point. What we can express here, we are transferring the information one end. This is the form of text, image, or video, voice, anything. So what is the? So we have studied two. What is the next one? So we are going to study the physical topology. See, I will be sharing this PPT in the Teams. Textbook soft copy also I will be sharing in the Teams. Any relevant things are there, everything is available in the Teams. But you have to write to make sure that you not for any other purpose. Okay. So you need to reach everything will be available for you, but you have to write it so that you keep track of whatever you are learning day by day. Even if you write, I can complete the syllabus. If you write, still I have not able to complete the syllabus, then I will not complete it. You need to do, we can go into just recent speed. So this is clear. So let us move on to the next one. What is the next one? Topology. Can anyone say what is topology? Yeah. Have you ever heard any of the topologies? Topology, next topology, then first topology, then topology. So when you have already studied these things before, right? So the same thing we are going to study further in again. So physical topology is the next one. So what you can see, you can say that depending on the physical matter or the connection between the devices, like one node connected in which way, one node is connected to another node. Based on that, you can classify it into different types. So you can say that we are focusing here star topology, mesh topology, bus topology, and ring topology. You can also have tree topology. You can have hybrid topology. You can have mesh topology. These are all there. But we are, as per the thing, we are only focusing upon star, mesh and bus and ring topology. The four broad topologies classified as star topology, mesh topology, bus topology, and ring topology. So we will see star topology, then followed by the other three. So this is just for your reference. I have put a figure over there. We will be studying each topology in detail. So it is classified as many, but here we are studying star mesh, mesh and ring, the four broad topologies. You can also have hybrid topology. You can also have tree topology. See that how this topology is all about the way, the pattern in which the devices are interconnected to each other. The structure. Whether you want so in the design process, whether you want to connect the devices in a star topology manner, or you want to connect in a tree topology manner, or you want to connect in a bus topology manner. That is up to you to decide which topology you need to select according to the application whichever you are designing for. Okay, let us see the first one, star topology. Anyone knows about star topology? What you want to discuss about star topology?
All the subsystems are connected to the direct. If the connection of the main system is cut off, all the subsystems will stop functioning.
Correct. So all the subsystems are connected to the single main system, right? So we are going to see that. So first one is star topology. So in the star topology, what you can see is every host, you can call it as host. Every host has a point-to-point link or a central control hub. So you can see that I am at the center and you are all surrounded to me. So that is what you can call it as a star topology. Then the host cannot communicate one another directly. They have to go through the central hub. For example, now you can see the figure here. Now this has to communicate with this. It cannot directly communicate. Rather than it has to be connected to the hub, and then it has to communicate to the next device. Correct. So you have the flexibility to connect. For example, A is there. You can connect A to rest of the B, C, D, and all those things. Provided you have to pass through the hub for the establishment of connectivity. By chance, your hub directly fails. So entire system fails. That is one of the problem here. So the hub acts as a network traffic exchange. It maintains everything. The large system hub especially can be used as a powerful server and which can keep track of all these things. What is the advantage of this? This topology is cheaper and easier to establish because you don't have to manage too many. You have a hub device set properly, then it takes care of the rest of the loads. Okay. The main advantage of star topology is what? It is very easy to establish and it also takes care of fault identification within the network. If anything happens, no, you can come to know easily. What is the disadvantage? Any damage to the single point, it will lead to the failure of the entire system. Like for example, if your hub fails, then the whole network fails. So that is all about the star topology. So it's very important to understand that each node is connected or each hub is connected to the central hub and each host is connected to the central hub and you have to make sure that whatever data transfer takes place between the host A to B or B to C, whatever it has to pass through the central hub. And once it is passing through the central hub, what is the advantage? It is easy to track and it is very easy to establish the connection. It is very cheaper and all those things are there. Those are some of the advantages. But it is having a major disadvantage is that if your hub directly fails, the entire network will fail. So you will not be having any connection being established further. So this is about the star topology. You can just stick on to this diagram. The other one is not the one and the same. Any one diagram. So what is the next one? What is mesh topology? So you don't have a central hub over there, it is interconnected to each other. So let us, you complete it, let us move on to the next one. So this technology, what is advantage is it is very cheaper and easier to establish. And more than its advantage, the major disadvantage is this one, that if anything fails, the entire network fails. And if you want to establish a connectivity between the host A to host C, you have to pass on through the central hub. You should then make sure that your information being communicated to host C or host B, host D, whatever it is. So we will see in the next one, mesh topology. So what is mesh topology?
Systems are interconnected each other without a central hub.
Yeah. We'll stop with mesh to So we'll see the next one. This is the last figure is compulsory. Okay, let us see the mesh one. So as you have already discussed, so this is what we call it as a mesh network. Every host is connected to every other host using a dedicated link. Means you are not having any central hub or anything like that. You are connecting one device to another, one host to another. With a every host is connected with every other host using a dedicated link. That is what you can see here. You can see that host A is connected to host D, host A is connected to host B, host A is also connected to host C. So, for example, if you have n hosts, how many total number of dedicated connections will be there? It will be n minus 1 into, n into n minus 1 divided by 2. So, it will be n into n minus 1 divided by 2 here. So, n into n minus 1 divided by 2 set of connections will be established and the massive network link makes the mesh topology. It will be expensive. See, now you have to make sure that you are connected to A, you are connected to B, you are connected to C. Everything you need to make sure that, and if any things is there, so it becomes like so much of, it is so massive that it will be very much expensive. But what is the advantage? The robustness and of the system, and if the even if the link is down or it is broken, the network is still functioning and it doesn't create any problem. For example, if this link fails, still the entire network will be functioning. Only that will have a problem. Like if a connection fails between A to B, only A to B will have a problem, but there is no problem for other connections. And what is that? The security and privacy of the traffic as the data is being intended to, it can also maintain the security as well as privacy of the entire system and reduces the data load on a single host. And the mesh network is used in backbone networks and all. So these are some of the advantages of using a mesh network. That is the main advantage is if any of the one link fails also, still the entire connectivity will be other, it's not going to impact the other network connectivities. And but it is so clumsy and it needs lot of massive network to be established. That is one disadvantage you can say, or you can say that lot of cost is involved in this to establish. Yeah, it's very hard to set up. So we will study the rest of the two. What are those we have to study next further? First time? Three. So first time we will be studying in the next class. We will wind up for today and we will discuss in the next class further. So Monday's class I will be completing the second topic. Then I will move on to third topic. Third topic will wind up next month. So next week probably I may be able to complete what is one next month? But at least 80%. By one I can complete, but let us not go so. We will make sure that you are all clear with whatever we study. Clear? So we will stop it for today and we'll continue it further in the next class. Okay. Thank you. So by this week, I will be adding all of you to the team. If you are not available in teams, I will just tell you who are not being added. We'll make sure that you are available. You'll get notes. These notes will the same PPT again put it into a paper is not required. Same PPT is enough as a notes. Okay. PPT can be at any point I will be including in the slides so that you will preserve everything. And you are writing it, all the things are sufficient. Again, you need the 6%. No, I don't think so. So then you will be having the soft copy of the textbook in the team. And what else you need? Syllabus is also there in the teams. What else you need? Recording is also there in the teams. Okay, then that's it for today. Thank you. You completed? If you want to take a snap of it, I'm going to do this. Make it over if you are not completed. Okay, then thank you.